Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with a little bit of inspiration, motivation, and education for your Monday morning. I'd like to give you some ideas today that might be able to help you get started off on a great week. I hope you had a great weekend. And listen, regardless of where you are now or what's happened so far this year, the fact remains that the games in life are won or lost in the fourth quarter. You can absolutely finish this year strong, even if you've doubted that up to this point. You know, the best leaders and achievers are the ones that finish the race strong, not the ones that start the race strong. We're in the fourth quarter and there's still several months left in the year, and I've got news for you. You still can make it happen this year. You can make this year, 2020, a monumental year, but you need to get focused and you need to execute on your plan and never look back. So there's some ways that you can immediately create, momentum and forward progress in your life. But before you even think about those, it's going to take a decision on your part to really re-engage the last part of this year. So I'm challenging you to stop for a minute and focus on creating a fourth quarter plan, a plan for you, for your business, for your relationships, for your communication, and for your life. And I want to provide you today with 10, ideas I just happen to write down and things that I think can help you make it a great fourth quarter starting today. So I hope these ideas will inspire your own creativity and motivate you to take control of your life in a big way in the fourth quarter, because ultimately, I know that you have everything inside you that'll take to win the game of life for you in the fourth quarter. It's just going to come down to a decision and some key strategies, principles, and techniques that you can execute on. So let me see if I can help you with that today. The first suggestion I have for you is simply to dig deep. And it's a conscious effort to do this. You have a much higher level that you could be playing at. And the reason I know that is that we all can do much more at any given moment than we're doing. It's called stretching outside your comfort zone. It's called stretching your abilities. David Goggins talks a lot about this on his podcast, and you may have seen some of the videos he's done, how he continually stretches himself. And one way to do that is to raise your level of urgency. As a lot of my mentors would tell me, you've got to make those, woulds and coulds, you got to make them a must. You have to make them a must and raise your level of urgency and dig deep. The second thing that I want to remind you of is that you've got to run the plays. You've got to run the plays that you know you have to execute on, because as an entrepreneur, you know the activities that you need to do. You know that you need to double down on the productivity, not just the activity. You need to remember and remind yourself what tasks are going to move the ball forward down the field, what tasks are going to create results for you, and you need to measure those results and activities. If you're not keeping a schedule, a detailed, organized plan of what you do on a day-to-day basis, then it's going to be really hard for you to track and build your effectiveness. So that's the second one, is run your plays. The third one is I want you to find ways to fuel your vision. Fuel your vision. I didn't say just get energy. I'm talking about fueling your vision, because you have to take time to dream build. You have to remind yourself of what it is that you're looking for, that you're hoping to accomplish, that you want to do in life, because that's the fuel. That vision is the fuel that's going to take you to the next level. And, you've got to make it more than just about yourself. That vision has to be more than the things you want. It has to have an emotional attachment to things outside of yourself in order for you to really motivate yourself. The fourth suggestion I have is to get creative. Now, what do I mean by getting creative? Well, sometimes the best way to make a change is just to make a change. What is it in your day-to-day routine that you can do differently? What is that you can do? Use your creative brain, not just your logical CEO brain. Think about things you can do differently. Maybe it's working out at a different time of day. Maybe it's doing a different type of task. But either way, start to think differently. Think like your consumer or the relationship or the business or associates or partners you have, rather than just through your own filter or your own lens. Work on being more service-oriented. And so that's my next suggestion, is get creative. Then I want to lead you to the idea of focusing or refocusing on your strengths. You've got to do on a daily basis things that are inside your unique ability. This means getting out of the things that you're competent at. So many of us are stuck at doing things we're competent or excellent at, and not things that we're excellent and passionate about, those unique talents, those unique abilities. You've got to get out of the competent zone and get into the excellent zone. Also, anything that you are incompetent at, you've got to learn to delegate or eliminate. Stop doing things you don't enjoy doing and you're not good at doing. You've got to remember what your value of your time is. That's why you hear so often there are tasks that we do that are a $10 an hour mentality when you should be a $300 an hour mentality or a $1,000 an hour mentality or a $10,000 hour mentality. You can't act like a $10 an hour mentality and expect to get paid $1,000 an hour. You just can't. So you've got to focus on your strengths. The next suggestion I have is to start focusing on serving others. I mentioned this before, but it can't just be about you. Because here's the thing. When you're expected or required in success to do something that's outside your comfort zone that you don't feel like doing, you don't feel like getting up early, you don't feel like exercising, you don't feel like doing that last call, that last meeting, that last thing, listen, none of us feel like doing that. No one feels like doing that. But if you can learn to make it more about others and not just yourself, you are going to get that extra energy and focus to move forward. Who is it that you're helping to serve? Who is it that you're helping to provide a life and a lifestyle for? Focus on those individuals and serve others, and you're going to find greater inspiration, motivation, and energy for what you're trying to accomplish. The seventh idea that I wrote down was to work on inspiring other people. Don't just look to motivate other people. You know, there's so many individuals I work with that are focused on motivating all the time and motivating. People don't just need motivation. Motivation comes from external. Inspiration comes from inside. Find things inside other people that will inspire them. That's what leaders do. You don't want to be a manager where you're just out there rah-rah and teaching and telling people things. You've got to learn to inspire other people by getting to know what they need, what they want, and what things inspire them from within. When you do this, you won't be doing it on your own. And so learn to inspire other people and become a true leader through that inspiration. The next suggestion I have is you got to stop looking back. You have to stop looking back because remember, the past is over. It doesn't exist anymore. So stop dragging that baggage that you have with you forward because it's going to be very difficult for you to win the race and to finish the fourth quarter strong if you're dragging a bunch of weight behind you. So don't look in the past. The past is over and the future doesn't even exist. So you can create that future. You are the person here today that's learning, growing, and making the decision. You are not the person that was here yesterday, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That person is gone. That person is not here anymore. You are a better version of yourself every single day, especially if you're listening to this podcast and you're even thinking about these things. You're already better off than you were in the past. Now, another suggestion I have for you, and this is one you hear a lot, and that is to practice gratitude. The simplest and easiest way to move forward, get out of a rut, eliminate depression and anxiety and all those things is to start practicing gratitude. Physically practicing gratitude, writing lists, finding ways to appreciate what you already have and not have what you want, but want what you have. The best way to attract more into your life is to be grateful. And here's another thing, and this is a distinction. Be grateful for what you're going to have in your life, in addition to what you do have in your life. Manifest that into your life by being grateful for the abundance that's going to be coming your way. And my last suggestion, the number 10 suggestion I had on my list I wrote out for you, is to start every day strong. If you only did one thing, and that was to start your day strong, you would be so much more apt to have an amazing day. And these amazing days will add up to be amazing weeks and amazing months and a phenomenal fourth quarter. So get out of the gates quickly. Find a way to get effective. And that comes from daily rituals. It might be workout, journaling, meditation, practicing gratitude, a nutritious meal, listening to a podcast, motivation, whatever it is. But I'm going to encourage you to find the one or two things that for you personally help you the most in the morning. It might not be working out. It might be motivation. It might be a podcast. It might be reading. It might be writing in your journal or meditating. Find the thing that for you makes you feel like you got to win first thing in the morning. And that's my suggestion to start each day strong. Now, I think it's very important to remember something here. So I'm going to just give you one last thought. Remember that In the game of life, you are the player in your game of life, but you're also the coach, the referee, the judge. You write the rules that you're going to judge yourself by. No one else does. You are in control of how you play the game, how you keep score, and what rules you play by. So don't let anyone or anything in your life try to convince you otherwise, and remind yourself that you are the one in control. Make a decision and a commitment to play at 100% through the rest of the year. Don't leave anything on the court. Don't start your year with any regrets on how you've played in 2020, and don't look forward to setting New Year's resolutions. I want you to push through the finish line. I know you have greatness inside of you, and you have everything you need to finish this year strong. So it's time to start creating that life that you were meant to live. So let's make things happen. I appreciate you listening. Share this podcast with someone that you know that might be able to benefit from it. And I look forward to talking with you more and hearing about your success. Have an amazing day.